Rectory Riddles. So I made it over to the Rectory. It was extremely bright as the sun was dancing off the snow, and it was the type of day you really ought to wear sunglasses, but I didn't. Made my way over there pretty leisurely, trying to dodge the major pitfalls, the places where people hadn't shoveled properly on the sidewalks, stepping over the grayer, darker looking snowdrifts, which I knew just looked absolutely unclean. Made my way down the street, Linden, crossed over the usual way, made it over to Riverton, went inside. Buzzed at the door. It was about 1:24. Went in. When I got downstairs, Lincoln was already there, and he was already taking his coat, ready to go. That's the thing I love about that guy. He's always up for it. Never the type of person to wait. He's very much going to step up and do what needs to get done. So we got into a two-man team. I would bring the bins up to the top of the stairs, and he'd take them the rest of the way. And that's just what we did. Then went up, and, I'd come up, drop a bin, he'd be bringing a bin back, take that one down, get a new one, until the other guy showed up. But we were nearly done with the bins upstairs. By the other time, the other guys got involved. So when we were back downstairs, did our dragging. We dragged all those bins one at a time to make room for the new bins that we had there. We had about 11 bins that were empty that we needed to fill in to the rest of the line. So we just kept dragging them up to the front and making space for the new bins. Once we completed that, we proceeded to go right into making our bags of 7. And Tony was at the first table making doubling up bags. The rest of us were taking turns making our bags of 7. John was doing his floating thing. And, we just went in and filled them up as quickly as possible. And when we had a couple of minutes left, we went back upstairs. And I went out, had the string, tied the door open, and we got into it. There was a first big push of people that came in, and we got them taken care of, and then it sort of died down. And there was worries about the fact that that was it. We'd only seen about 26 people at that point, and it was still about 10 minutes to 1. But when John realized that we wasn't even 1 yet, we had still had a lot of time to go. And, they came in, and we just sort of went into it, and there was only a lot of talking, though, upstairs, and usually in the lulls between when people hadn't been there. When we were downstairs doing the bins originally, it was all business. The only real sounds that you heard were cans being stuffed into bins, or knives cutting open boxes, cardboard being torn and thrown into corners, that swishing noise of a plastic bag being put into another plastic bag, and then that clunk of when a full bag of 7 hits a plastic bin, or sets on top of another full bag of 7 in a bin together. Back at the front, we went in, sort of chatted it up, and made good time of it. When we were nearly done, Francisco asked a riddle of Lincoln Fletcher. He asked him what was better. Was it better to be almost saved or almost condemned? And Lincoln said, I don't really know how to answer that. To me, that's a question. It seems like, is that a question of whether the glass is half empty or half full? Francisco said, no, there's an answer. There's definitely an answer. He said he didn't know. So he looked over at me and asked me the same question. I thought about it for a moment, and I figured, it's probably better to be almost saved. At least you were, nearly there. But in his eyes, in his understanding, being almost saved meant you were already condemned. and being almost condemned meant you were already saved. Gives you a moment to pause and think. I'll let you meditate on that.